When we asked Reebok to send us Terry Tate, some people thought we were crazy. But I'm a firm believer in paradigm breaking, outside-the-box thinking.
Hey, bud.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
And since Terry's been with us, our productivity has gone up 46%. We're getting more from our employees than ever before.
You know you need a cover sheet on your TPS reports, Richard! That ain't new, baby!
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Janice!
But what's really impressed me is how Terry's become part of the Felcher family.
You can't hide, baby!
He fits right in here.
That's a long-distance call, Doug!
To be honest, I wish Reebok sent us 10 Terry Tates.
You want to play games, Gene? Well, when it's game time, it's pay time, baby! Woo!
Just in, a birthday report of Joseph Saxo's 80th birthday interview, conducted by Dennis Saxo. Thank you, Gramps. He was born on Friday, January 29th, 1926. A gallon of milk was 59 cents, but now in 2006 it is $3.10. A loaf of bread was 9 cents. In 2006 it is $1.42. Now that changed quite a bit. A new home used to be $7,748, but now in 2006 it is $264,540. Now that changed quite a bit. Now we're done with the prices. Let's move on. Good. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Happy birthday, Joseph Saxo. I hope you have a great 80th birthday. Bye now.
Let's go back in time to the 1890s. Place, Mariapox, Hungary.
Joseph's parents, George and Mary Zasquazo, were born in 1892 and 1897. George grew up in Mariapost, Hungary. Mariapost is on the eastern border of Hungary and Romania. Mary and George were married there also.
March 10, 1902.
With all the unrest and uprising, they moved to America in pursuit of a safer and better place to live and raise a family.
Joseph's original surname was Zasquazo and was changed to Saxo.
March 26, 1923.
Between them, there were 9 children born and raised in this country. On George's certificate of naturalization, dated March 26, 1923, the names of the following children were listed: Andrew, Margaret, John, Edna, Julia, George, and Mike. We believe Elizabeth was the oldest child, may have been married and not included on the certificate. Their address was 225 West Main Street in Coatesville, Pennsylvania.
January 29, 1926.
On January 29, 1926, in a house now across from the Harrys in Salisburyville, Pennsylvania, Joseph was born. He is the youngest of George and Mary's family. Sometime after 1926, the Saxos moved to a farm in West Callan, approximately 2 miles north of Salisburyville.
This farm later became known as the Saxos Homestead. Dottie and Jay Abbs live a stone's throw from where the farmhouse still is today.
Joe remembers life on a farm as pretty good. There were always a lot of people coming and going, fun times, and plenty of hard work. As a youngster, he recalls the enormous saw blade used to cut firewood. It was powered by the farm tractor and had a long belt drive. It is amazing how chores can have an influence on you. He also remembers how long the walk was to the one room schoolhouse. It was probably a mile or two, but seemed like 5. Being the youngest and growing up with so many brothers and sisters must have been a challenge. Lots of role models to follow.
September 25, 1931.
The stock market crash of 1929 was hard on a lot of people. The Saxos were no exception. Times were tough but strong family ties. A good treat brought on by the times kept the Saxos children always looking out for one another. Then another sad time occurred. On September 25th, 1931, when Joseph was only 5, his mother Mary died. She was 52. George Sr. remarried, but it only lasted a short time. Then, 9 years after Mary passing, George died. The date was June 20th, 1940. He was 60 years old, and Joseph was 14. It had to be a trying time for the children, and especially for Joseph. Thank goodness for older sisters. He was especially thankful for Julia and Frick taking him into their home and guardianship following George's.
At the age of 16,
he went to work at Luke & Steel. After training, they hired him as an errand boy because he was too young to work in the plant. Disheartened at not having a real job, he quit.
he soon turned 17.
He soon turned 17, and it was time to sow his oats. He desperately wanted to join the Navy, so he convinced Julia to become his legal guardian on June 26, 1943. Later, she changed her mind and would not sign for him to go into the Navy. One way or another, he was going overseas, so he lied about his age and went into the Merchant Marines. On December 11, 1943, he qualified as a member of the engine department. He found out it did not pay to lie. While home on leave, he ran into his local recruiter, who wanted to know why he was not in the armed forces. In a matter of days, he had received his official letter drafting him into the Army. Most of his Army days were spent at Fort Meade, Maryland. His favorite means of transportation between Fort Meade and home in Pennsylvania was motorcycles. He was proud of his motorcycles. On November 1, 1946, Joseph received an honorable discharge as Private First Class.
On another adventuresome note, Joseph had always wanted to fly airplanes. He used his GI benefits to train to be a single-engine pilot. He was awarded his license on October 3, 1947. The certificate said his weight was 134 pounds.
Following his service to our country,
New and important things like jobs and a steady girl were part of his thinking. Lukens had the best pay around, and although he did not want to return there, he did. It turned out to be a 43-year career at a steel mill. He was promoted to shop foreman and shared the supervision of 60 welders.
Fall, 1947.
Don't forget, there was still a second piece of the missing puzzle. He wanted a steady girlfriend, so on a fall day in 1947, he and his friend went to the Honeybrook Fair. The event leads to meeting the love of his life. Her name was Nancy Lorraine Charles. The story told by Nancy is that she and Betty Ludwig were being followed by two men at the fair. Betty saw them and told Nancy she was not interested in the skinny short guy. Nancy was quick to reply that one was hers.
May 29, 1948.
After courting, they were married in New Holland Church on May 29, 1948. In 2006, they will celebrate 58 years of blessed marriage. Wow, that is something else.
November 25, 1948.
As the story goes, first comes love, then comes marriage, then comes Nancy pushing the baby carriage, and Dennis was born on November 25th, 1948.
November 5, 1949.
Jer was soon to follow, and there they were, thrust into the baby boomer time of the century following the war.
It was about this time another important event took place. The Joseph Saxo family joined the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd in Coatesville, PA. Their faith continued to grow since that day. In the 1950s and the early 60s, Joseph was busy juggling family living with working. He built a new house in Salisburyville, PA, served as chairman on the church property committee, and many other functions. Joe and Nancy met many other close friends and spent quality time with them and their brother and sister-in-laws. Even with all this going on, he found plenty of time for his family. There were travel vacations, a horse for the kids, and boating and fishing at Broadkill Beach.
September 4, 1962.
On September 4th, 1962, Brenda was born. It was just like the 1950s all over again. Many more vacation and activities for the family in addition to building a cottage at Broadkill next to the Clarks and Cougars. Look out, here comes the grandchildren.
He must have been thinking, I need more time, there are so many people I need to be with. Even though it was a busy time with a couple health ups and downs, Joseph stayed focused on his family, friends, brothers, and sisters. But time seemed to be passing quickly.
1989.
Gosh, there was Joe, building again, and he added onto the Broadkill cottage to make it a retirement home and actually retired in 1989.
So I asked him at the end of the interview, how did you manage to beat the odds and live so long to the young age of 80? He just smiled and said, I owe it to my faith and my positive outlook on life. I tried to moderate all those bad habits, smoking, excess this and that. I tried to maintain a healthy balance between Mother Nature, working, changes, and all the rest of the stresses in the world.
Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha. Happy birthday, dear Joseph. Happy birthday to you, cha-cha-cha.